Imagine the moment when humanity takes a step towards a new era. An era where we are no longer confined to one planet. An era where Mars becomes our new home. Dear friends, if you have ever dreamed of living on another planet, this video is just for you. Today, we will talk about how and when we can colonize Mars. This will be an exciting journey from the first steps to the real plans and projects that are already being developed today. So buckle up and get ready for an incredible journey into the future, where humanity becomes an interplanetary species. Let's start with why Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and has a lot in common with our Earth. It has an atmosphere, though thin, and cyclical seasons. But most importantly, Mars has water, albeit in frozen form. Water is a key element for life, and its presence on Mars opens up huge prospects for colonization. The first steps toward colonizing Mars were taken back in the last century. In 1965, NASA's Mariner 4 spacecraft sent back the first images of Mars's surface. Since then, our knowledge of the red planet has expanded significantly. We know that the surface of Mars is covered in dust and rocks, and that there are frequent dust storms. However, despite these difficulties, Mars remains our main candidate for colonization. One of the first and most famous projects for colonizing Mars was proposed by Elon Musk and his company SpaceX. Their goal is to create a self-sustaining colony on Mars that can function independently of Earth. According to Musk's plan, this will be a series of missions, starting with sending unmanned ships to deliver equipment and build bases. But how exactly do we plan to get people to Mars? For this, SpaceX is developing the Starship spacecraft. This reusable spacecraft will be able to carry up to 100 people per flight. Starship will be launched into Earth orbit, where it will refuel before embarking on the long journey to Mars. One of the key aspects of colonizing Mars is providing the colony with everything necessary for life. This includes food, water, oxygen, and shelter. Scientists and engineers are developing various methods of producing food on Mars. One of them is hydroponics, a method of growing plants without soil, using only water and nutrients. Water on Mars will be extracted from ice that lies beneath the planet's surface. This ice will be melted and purified for drinking and use in agriculture. Producing oxygen will also be crucial. One method is to use electrolysis to break down water into hydrogen and oxygen. Building shelter on Mars is another important task. Options include inflatable modules that can be easily transported and deployed on the planet's surface. These modules will be covered with Martian soil for protection against radiation and meteorites. Another important aspect of colonization is providing energy. Solar panels will be the main source of energy on Mars, as solar energy is abundant. Additionally, the use of nuclear reactors for stable energy supply is also possible. One of the most interesting aspects of colonizing Mars is the creation of new technologies and innovations. These developments will not only help us on Mars, but can also be used on Earth. For example, water and air recycling technologies, as well as new methods of construction and food production. Besides SpaceX, there are other companies and organizations working on Mars colonization projects. For example, NASA is developing the Artemis program, which includes landing humans on the Moon and using it as a stepping stone for future missions to Mars. The European Space Agency, ESA, also has plans for studying and colonizing Mars. They are collaborating with the Russian space agency Roscosmos under the ExoMars program, aimed at searching for signs of life on Mars. China is also actively joining the race for Mars colonization. In 2021, the China National Space Administration, CNSA, successfully landed its rover Tianwen-1 on the surface of the red planet, demonstrating its ambitions in space exploration. But what does Mars colonization mean for ordinary people? In the future, it could mean the opportunity for each of us to travel to Mars. Imagine a vacation on Mars, or the possibility of living and working on another planet. This will not only change our lives, but also our perspective on the world. Mars colonization also holds great significance for science and research. We will be able to study Martian geology, climate, and potential life forms. This will help us better understand not only Mars, but also our own planet and its history. However, colonizing Mars is not only a technical challenge, but also a psychological one. Life on Mars will be difficult and isolated. We must be prepared for long periods of solitude and limited resources. Therefore, psychological preparation and support will be important aspects of preparing for Martian missions. It is also important to consider the legal and ethical issues of colonizing Mars. Who will own and govern Martian colonies? How will we protect the Martian environment from pollution and destruction? These questions require careful consideration and discussion. Despite all these challenges, the dream of colonizing Mars remains alive and inspiring. It encourages us to innovate and collaborate, to expand our horizons and overcome boundaries. It reminds us of our unquenchable drive for exploration and the discovery of new worlds. So the future of Mars colonization lies in our hands. It is a future that we can create together by combining our efforts, knowledge, and dreams. Let us take this step and begin our journey to the stars. Thank you for joining us on this exciting journey. Stay with us, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together we can make the impossible possible and open new horizons for all humanity.